KXSL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome in to Friday. Our new drug today is, there's a big one in the swamp tomorrow.
Big one.
Does Lane Kiffin know what he's got coming? Does he know?
I think Lane will
Anyone told him?
I think Lane will be ready. But I'm curious if Ole Miss is ready.
We'll see.
They probably are, but
I got to say, might be.
they probably are.
You know,
probably
it
are
sounded
ready.
great, though, didn't we? Both
It does, yeah.
All confident.
By 12:01 tomorrow, I'll be convinced Florida's winning the game.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean it's and it has been as dreadful as September was for Florida. At least we got some semblance of fun out of this season. Because they've really been, I mean, even though they lost to Tennessee and really other than the Texas, just massacre, the season's been fun. And particularly since they have so many of these guys that could potentially come back next year. So, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they'll play well.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. Here's the big question. Let's get right to it. Quit beating around the bush. When the Demon Deacons come calling tomorrow, JJ, are you concerned? That's when Tim Duncan brings the Demon Deacons in, are you concerned?
I'm always concerned, Frank. Absolutely.
All right. Here come the Demon Deacons. You know that, right?
Yeah, no one gets...
Riley Skinner.
JJ doesn't look past anybody.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he's...
Listen,
he'd be a good head coach because he's always concerned about the opponent this week.
It's been a while since they've had a season like this.
Well, every game is like... very close.
That's true. It really
Every
is.
single game has come down to the fourth quarter except for a few.
Yeah,
Florida State, inferior opponents.
The Florida game didn't come down to the second quarter.
No. There was a couple in front of me at the game that literally left at halftime and didn't come back.
Yeah, by the way, the only teams that scored less against Miami than the Gators, can I give you the list? Florida A&M, Ball State, South Florida, and the Knowles. Those are the only teams.
But if they played again today, they'd still get destroyed. Miami is.
Am I wrong about that, JJ?
Really good.
I think USF. I think scored more than you guys. I could be wrong about that.
They scored 15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, we scored.
Oh, you beat them by 2.
Oh, we crushed them.
Didn't we have like a pity touchdown in there kind of towards the
at the
end?
very end.
Yeah, so I mean, it was really bad.
Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, and the Knowles is the only team that scored less against Miami.
Hey. Yeah, that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
that was before Florida and Billy Napier turned the dang corner.
Cal scored 38. Louisville scored 45.
Yeah.
Duke, Christian Laettner hit some late. They scored 31. Okay. And we got 17 against those Canes. That's also a noon kick, by the way.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching the Big Ten game, too.
It's a weird slate, because there's everything is right at the start of the day.
It's a lousy week,
and then there's really nothing that I care about in the 3:30 or 7 because the SEC block, I think, is like Texas A&M, Auburn.
That's a big one, though.
But it's not for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma, Alabama, which, like, brand-wise is fantastic. But I doubt I'm going to be overly interested in it because Alabama's.
There's going to be upsets. There's going to be upsets.
Yeah, I mean, but to me, it's going to have to be like tomorrow is the day where I'll be locked in at noon from noon to 4. Because if Florida ends up getting beaten significantly, then I'll switch to whatever the best game is, probably Ohio State, Indiana. But if there's an upset, I'll watch that. But then from that point on, I'm going to have to be like
Colorado,
late
Kansas.
third quarter. Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Like late third quarter, like, where it looks like the upset might happen.
How do you feel about Colorado, Kansas?
I don't care about it at all. If there's one thing this playoff committee has got to do, they've got to stop giving out these automatic bids to these conference champions that are playing in a conference that isn't even remotely close to what the SEC and Big Ten are. The ACC, I think, is a good enough league that their champion deserves an automatic bid, but the Big 12 does not, and the minor schools do not deserve an automatic bid.
When Texas and Oklahoma and Nebraska were all in the Big 12, I liked it. You're right. Colorado, Kansas is a gigantic game. I don't care either. Your not care was way funnier than my not care, but it'd be hard to care less about that game. Let's Cordell Stewart finds Michael Westbrook along the right sideline late.
Colorado's a popular team.
They are, and
they get huge ratings.
Yeah, I get it.
But they're not a popular team when you're disgusting SEC snobs like Carlyon and me.
I'm not suggesting
if you guys
that
want
people...
more SEC teams in, like, these games matter. You know what I'm like? Every play, like, if Miami loses this weekend, that's huge for the SEC. Like, if Indiana beats Ohio State. That's huge for the SEC. So I get what you're saying, but like these games have meaning for the SEC.
What's so incredible to me is so Ole Miss is 9th and Florida is unranked. And what's so great about this 12-team playoff is you have Tennessee and Georgia fans that are huge Gator fans tomorrow, which is so fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because normally, and if it was the regular system that we've had, well, you'd still pull for Ole Miss to beat Florida because, I mean, only 4 teams are going, so it doesn't matter. But now with 12 and with Georgia and Tennessee potentially needing the help, it's fantastic.
See, I can't imagine that
you've got Armageddon tomorrow.
I can't imagine that Georgia needs help.
But they think they do.
Yeah, well, that's right. Good point. If you're a fan, it's easy for me to say I don't care if they get in or not. But if you're a fan desperately wanting to get in, you want all the dominoes to fall properly.
And you want the highest possible seed. You'd like to not have to travel if you can get away with it.
I feel like Georgia's a lock.
Yeah. How about Indiana, Ohio State? I mean, we can't watch it because it's opposite the Gators. That's one I would be interested in that just because I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
To see if they hang around.
I would be too. If that was in a different window, I would watch that start to finish. But I mean, I would think Ohio State just the talent discrepancy is too much, and that they're able to win convincingly. But yeah, it'd be fun to see. Today
on the program, we got a lot of things to get to. We'll start a lot of Florida Ole Miss today because the storylines are so many there. Florida State probably finally gets a win in a long time. We'll certainly make a quick mention of that. They played Charleston Southern. I like to call them Charlie South. We'll talk some college football with you. Where's Juan Soto landing, JJ?
Well, if it's not the SEC, do you guys care?
Not really.
Yeah, actually, Hays doesn't. Okay, but I actually care about the SEC in baseball.
I think the Dodgers are just sort of there to push a lot of money and make the other team spend a lot of money. I would just find it hard to believe, even though with Ohtani's contract, they pushed a lot of the money to 20 years from now, so they don't have a ton on the books. But it would be crazy if they spent $700 and $600 back-to-back off seasons. So just for that, I think he's going back to the Yankees or the Mets.
I'll say
maybe even Boston.
I'll say the Mets, and Boston's in play. I don't think they'll get him. Toronto's a sneaky watch with them. You know that? I think Toronto's a sneaky. I don't know why I feel
he would lose a lot of cash.
Yeah, but I just feel like correct. But I just feel like I don't know. I feel like they're a sneaky watch. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like they're a sneaky watch with Juan Soto. So we'll see. But
my bet would be the Yankees if he went back to the Yankees.
Yeah, and I'll probably bet the Mets. But I would bet that it's one of them.
Because they go to the World Series and their fans would imagine if they didn't bring back their arguably best player.
Yeah.
And they lose him to the team that they just lost the World Series to. Like the Yankees, you're supposed to be the biggest spenders, the big boys on the block. To lose out on a guy that was just on your World Series team would be terrible for Yankee fans.
Yeah, no question. So we'll touch on that a little bit. Here's my question for you to assess me, Hays Carlyon, who hails from the Bowl School. I find myself really intrigued with college basketball right now with our teams.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it's because Florida's good.
Sure.
Part of it's because I really like JU and UNF. It looks like they're both good.
Yeah, they are.
But is part of it the fact that I'm asking seriously? You think it's because the Gators are 5-5? I mean, if the Gators were 9-1, would I not pay attention to the basketball?
No, I think you would be.
I probably still would, right?
Because it's not just that Florida is good; their style is fun.
Yeah.
And
they might be really good.
And they might be really good.
They're in a brutal league.
It's one thing if you're 5-0, but you sort of play methodically. And,
good point.
But the way that Todd Golden operates the offense, I mean, they're a fun team to watch. They rebound, which is, there's nothing more demoralizing as a fan. You're watching your basketball team play, and the opponent puts up 4 shots and keeps getting the it's like, good God, can somebody please get a rebound? Every team's going to have that happen eventually, but it's really infrequent with the Gators.
Yeah, I wonder. I want Florida State to be better because Florida beat them. That means Florida's better. I want.
You want that to be as quality a good win as it can be. Yeah, particularly since it was a road game.
And not only the metric of it, you want it to be a quad 1 win, not quad 4 win, but not even the metric of it. I just want if all of a sudden they're good, that tells me my team's good because it was a good game. I mean, again, the FSU cut it to 4 with 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, if Elijah Martin does not get a miracle
lucky bank in on
a 3, who knows where that game headed? But but it went in.
Very important topic. I read this story today about Scott Van Pelt. Scott Van Pelt, like me, has devoted most of his life to the consumption of Diet Coke, as I have. Scott Van Pelt.
I see you got one right now.
I do, yeah. And I backed off some.
I was gonna say it's been a while since you brought one in here. You've been very diligent.
I have, but it doesn't replace the first 60 years of drinking 12 a day.
Keith Richards is still alive.
Yeah, well said. Well, like Scott Van Pelt has said what I said. If Diet Coke really is bad for you, I might not make it till tomorrow. I mean, that's just reality. I've drank so many of them. But yeah, it's funny. But they had a poll in the New York Post. Best way to consume: can, plastic bottle, or the old glass bottle. Are you old enough to appreciate glass bottles?
I am, and I loved the glass
bottle.
My
bottle
grandparents used to always buy Coke in the glass bottles.
Before they had Diet Coke.
Yes.
They had Coke in those little green bottles.
It was the best thing on earth.
Have you ever had a soft drink out of a glass bottle, JJ?
No, but I've had many other drinks out of a glass bottle.
I have no doubt.
Many. No, I'm so young compared to that we had Coke in bottles as like collector's things around the house. I was like, oh, look at that
the
old
Gator
stuff.
thing. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Gators, but yes.
Yeah, but I have a Gator bottle.
I have a 1984 Gator.
That's what
Coke
I got.
Bottle.
Do you
SEC championship.
Were you old enough to have ever taken your bottles in and gotten a quarterback?
I never did that.
I did that.
But
Your
my
dad
grandparents did. So when I was at my mom's parents' house, they always had the glass Cokes, and they'd let me drink as many of them as I wanted because they were awesome people. And so I always had to put it in a certain place, and then my grandmother at some point, once I got full enough, would take it in and get her $3 or whatever it was.
When you grew up in San Souci, you'd ride your bike to the convenience store, gas station. You'd fill up your gas tank to mow the lawn was 1 gallon. 1.5 was 1. Okay, you put 1 gallon into that thing, okay? And then you bring all the glass bottles, and you got quarters for everything. You were flying high, bro. Okay, I mean that was good living. What that was. So anyway, he had this. So anyway,
it's to the point now where, like, to be honest, I can't drink a Coke. I will if I'm on like a road trip and it's the only thing, but I don't like drinking them out of that.
You'd rather have the can.
I'd rather have a can.
Well, that was the big debate.
Yeah. I don't like it out of the plastic bottle
versus the can.
I can't tell you why. But I do think it's because as a child, it's similar shape, obviously, to the glass bottle. And that's why I think I just I can't enjoy it.
Contends that the plastic bottle is way better than the can for Diet Coke. I think a can's better.
Yeah.
You get that can really cold. That metal's cold.
So
it's good now. I mean, the Diet
and
Coke
you get to play. I like playing with the tab thing. Until it snaps.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah, it keeps me entertained. I'm a simpleton.
They used to pop off. Now they go underneath. They made them underneath now.
I used to like the styrofoam bottle. It was in glass bottle, but then they brought in the styrofoam cover. Yeah, and you could pick the styrofoam off. That was always a fun way to spend 30 seconds of your life.
Is there anything more fun? Yeah. Is the question you'd have.
A few things.
So, but I think the cold can. I mean, it's really cold. That's good stuff.
It's good.
That is right out of the can. I don't need.
I think Warren Buffett, who's a multi-billionaire, one of the most brilliant financial minds that this country has ever produced. I think he drinks like 12 Cokes a day.
Cokes or Diet Cokes?
I think regular Coke.
With the sugar. Okay.
But, I mean, he's now probably, I would think, late 80s.
Doing fine. His A1C is probably 600, but he's doing just fine, right?
Yeah. I mean.
5 cans of Coke daily.
Warren Buffett?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And how old is he?
He is 94.
94.
You know what? I need to find a Diet Coke drinker like that. Cause again,
he looks great.
You know
too.
me. I mean,
and he's sharp.
Yeah. I've been drinking. You know me. I mean, I've tried to cut back on it by drinking some other flavored drinks that are probably just as bad for you. People just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
But you know me. I've lived on Diet Coke.
I'm convinced if you gave a baby only like the best nutrition, like never introduced them to candy, sugar, anything, I think that person could live to be like 107.
There's no question.
Because I mean, we've not only celebrities. I've got people like in my family that it's amazing that they live to be as old as they did, and so it's the human body can withstand, a lot of
Yeah.
A lot of poison.
Yeah, exactly right. And I love this poison.
Yeah.
It's very good poison. A lot of things to talk about today. A lot of Florida Ole Miss talk. We'll certainly talk about that. We'll talk a little baseball, which free agents wind up where. We get a chance to get to it. Hoops this time of year. Florida State plays Charleston Southern. The Noles need to win in a worse way no matter who it is they play. But let's start with the best bets of the week. We'll take a break. When we come back, Hays has Rafael Esparza talking betting and more. This is 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Saturdays in the South are made for football. Yes, but you can get the game day feeling on Friday night on the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
The big games, the big matchups.
Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
To get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. The sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon goes there for you.
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Let me tell you a little something that dawned on me last week. Awaken 180 isn't just about weight loss. Obviously, that's the main goal. It was for me anyway. Other people see me now, they comment, "Hey, you're looking great." I tell them it's Awaken 180, and they ask more questions. My answers are simple. When you start eating better, when your body starts operating more efficiently, your numbers, I'm talking about your medical numbers now, they're going to start to look better. I went to my doctors last week to get a biomedical screening. They check out everything. Guess what? My good cholesterol is in the right range. My bad cholesterol is in the right range. Whatever the heck triglycerides are, they're in the right range as well. And it's all thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Have a goal? Maybe goals, plural? Awaken 180 can lay out the roadmap to help you reach them, like they've done with all of us here at 1010XL. Call 844-346-1800 or schedule your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We are always pleased to be joined by our good friend, Rafael Esparza. He's going to tell us who to place our money on this week. Does a fantastic job setting the lines at MyBookie. Rafael, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We won't be able to talk with you next week because of Thanksgiving, so happy early Thanksgiving. And we got a lot of good stuff to get to this week. Anything before I run down all the games I'm interested in? Anything in the college realm that particularly has your eye?
I think the first game that everyone's probably excited for is the first game pretty much on TV, the Indiana-Ohio State game. I mean, I'm sure every SEC team that has 2 losses is going to want to watch that game, and I think everyone that believes in Indiana is going to watch this game. The money's been flooding in on Indiana. I thought we were going to see maybe a 14. It was 13 about 4 days ago, and the last 36 hours has been all Indiana money. So if you like Ohio State, I think you can maybe get another half a point off that number, just the amount of money coming in on the Hoosiers.
Why do you think that? Because I'm with you. I would have thought the number would have grown because Indiana is so new to the party and Ohio State has a logo that the public certainly, I would imagine, has a lot of faith in. So when I first saw it, I thought it might creep towards like 14.
I just think there's 2 teams that the betting public are a little bit confused, Georgia and Ohio State. Ohio State, brand new center playing in this game. They have not really been on fire. Look, when they played against Penn State, they struggled on that one. They should have lost that game. I think that's probably the big puzzle. I think everyone likes the underdog Cinderella story, too, of the Hoosiers.
Yeah, good point. Let's get it to Gainesville tomorrow. Ole Miss going to Florida. And again, this is what's so great about this new playoff system. You've got Georgia fans, Tennessee fans rooting for the Gators to eliminate the Rebels. How do you see this one? I've seen it. It looks like the money is sort of come in more on Ole Miss this week, but kind of fill us in on what to expect, what the number might look like by the time we get to noon tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the money will continue coming in on Ole Miss, and I'm hoping it does because I'm going to be chomping at the window and chomping when I cash. I think Florida wins this game. I just love the way they've been playing. I'm not 100% sold on Ole Miss, especially when they're not at home. And Florida's been playing some really good football, especially on the D side. Ask LSU. They're still licking their wounds. So I think Florida plus the points is the way to go on this one.
What do you think about DJ Lagway?
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to look at these college kids now. What do I think? Because they can play 1 year, just transfer out, go to a new university, and are a totally different player.
Right. Yeah, good point. And hopefully he'll be in the orange and blue for 2 more years after this one. But you're right; it's a totally new world in terms of where they can transfer to. Let's get it to Miami. The Hurricanes, obviously, outstanding offense, questionable defense, playing Wake Forest at home. Wake Forest getting 24. If you had to play this one, how would you play it?
Maybe take a shot at the total or Miami first half. I think those are only two plays where you can maybe see value. But I think the over, like you said, Miami's defense, so many holes and so many question marks. We know we're going to get points with them, but we also know they're probably going to give up some horrible points. I agree, maybe either over or first half Miami.
What's the first half Miami line?
I don't have that
okay.
in front of me right now, but
how does that normally work, though? If the line's 24, do you just usually split the difference, or?
Usually, but sometimes I can guarantee it's probably 14 just because of the amount of money coming in on that one. The juice is probably minus 120 and the 14.
How about Colorado giving 3 points on the road at Kansas?
Yeah, I don't understand this. I thought for sure it would be a solid 3, maybe even a close to 3.5. Colorado is playing outstanding football, and I think speed is going to be a difference. Yes, Kansas beat by BYU, but the Mormon speed and Buffalo speed is going to be two different kinds of speed on the football field. I think Colorado, both lines are going to control the game. I like Colorado to win this game.
Okay, good stuff. There is one line in college football that made me pause, and when I pause, a lot of times I think the Vegas must know something beyond what maybe the public does. But the line that surprised me was Texas A&M going to Auburn, and Texas A&M only has to give 2.5. At least that's the number that I saw. I mean, they're obviously Texas A&M having a very fine season, Auburn really struggling. So when I see something like this, it tells me to take Auburn. But what can you explain why that point spread is so low?
Well, a week ago you had that question too, and we were talking about Kansas and BYU, and you're a little confused that BYU should have been a bigger favorite. And look at that outcome. I'd say it's the same kind of game. I'm looking at this one would not shock me if Auburn wins this game. Now, if Auburn can run the game, run the ball, I think we're going to see a really close game, and I can see them pulling the offset. But if Texas A&M stops to run, then I think the Aggies pretty much run away with it. This is a game that I'm looking for live betting because I want to see how Auburn comes out. If they can able to control the line of scrimmage and run the ball, it could be a totally different and close game.
Give us some advice on that. When you're looking at a game, how much do you need to see before you'll do a wager with the live betting?
If I'm looking at a team that has plus points on live betting, I'm hoping that they go down 3-0 right away. Because then you get probably, let's say if the number was 7, you could probably get a plus 10 or even plus 10.5 if the team kicks a field goal. So just look for a quick field goal in the game, or if your team scores a point, you could probably still get a nice plus money, even though you're still up at 7-0. So it's always good. I usually say look at the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the game on live lines.
Okay, great tip. We'll finish up the college portion with Army going to Notre Dame as a 14-point underdog. If you had to play this game, how would you play it?
I like Notre Dame. This game reminds me of when Navy was playing Notre Dame, and everyone was all over Navy. And look what look what Notre Dame did. They whooped them pretty bad. This game is being played in Yankee Stadium, so at least the New Yorkers can finally see a championship team win a game. I like Notre Dame to easily beat up on Army. Don't forget, Army has struggled against North Texas, and Notre Dame has been rolling since that horrible loss against Northern Illinois.
Yeah, all great points. Rafael Esparza joining us, our sports betting analyst from MyBookie. Again, use that promo code 1010XL to get a double deposit bonus if you haven't signed up with MyBookie. Still plenty of football left in this season. Rafael, let's get to the NFL. I'm going to start with a game that I think is going to be a rout, but it's a game that I actually like. I don't normally like to give a lot of points, but the Chiefs going to the Panthers and only having to give 11, I'd like that. What do you see? Talk me out of that if you feel differently.
Joe Public all over the Chiefs. They see Carolina, they see their record, they see the players that they have on the field. The wise guys are actually taking Carolina in this game, so I think that's why the number has not moved to 11.5 or 12, which I thought we might see. This was a stay away game for me. I guess I just don't know is the Chiefs going to be looking ahead because they play Black Friday. They play the Raiders on Black Friday. We know the Raiders always go toe-to-toe with Kansas City. Remember the Raiders won in Kansas City a couple of years ago, and they drove their bus around the stadium to pretty much taunt them after that one. So this is a stay-away game. Unless for some odd reason more Carolina money comes in, I can get a 10. then I might take a look at maybe go back and take a shot at the Chiefs.
Interesting. I saw a story that the 49ers have been favored in 36 consecutive regular season games, but that streak is very likely to end this week. The 49ers, I see a 3-point underdog at Green Bay, and Brock Purdy didn't practice today, according to reports. How do you see this game?
Yeah, I like Green Bay in this spot. I just think Green Bay's defense is going to be able to control the tempo, and I think San Francisco's going to have a hard time moving the ball. I'm hearing maybe the New York quarterback could be going to San Francisco, or maybe that New York quarterback could be going to Dallas. Those are the two teams I've been hearing all day today, but I like Green Bay in this spot.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. How about that? That would be really interesting. You don't often see a pick 'em. At least it seems like I haven't seen very many in the NFL this year. But Arizona going to Seattle, the last I saw was a pick 'em. So correct me if that's wrong. But how do you like this matchup if you had to wager it?
Well, I was dead wrong last week because I had San Francisco over Seattle, and I'm still getting the middle finger by the ticket windows. But I do like Arizona. So when they're on a bye week, coming off their bye week, and they're playing on free money. No one thought Arizona was going to be this competitive. I like them to steal this road game.
Really good primetime games. I'm looking forward to Philly going to the Rams and the Ravens going to the Chargers on consecutive nights. Let's start with the Eagles. Devonta Smith ruled out within the last 30 minutes, so the Eagles will be a little bit shorthanded offensively, and the Rams obviously have a great offense. How do you see this one going?
Well, I do a show on Amazon Prime and YouTube TV on yesterday, and I told them that all three primetime games, all home dogs, and I said 2 out of 3 home dogs will win. I cashed last night. This one, I thought I like the Eagles, even though they might be shorthanded, but I'm going to take the Eagles on this one. But that means maybe Monday Night Football, a dog will be barking.
Yeah, so should we take Chargers and get the 3 points? Justin Herbert's obviously playing at a really high level, and the Ravens did drop their last game, so maybe they're starting to falter a little bit.
Yeah, I am not sold on the Baltimore Ravens this year. I don't know what they were riding high, especially in their running game, but their defense has been awful, and I like the Chargers. I mean, they're just momentum, and I'm hearing they're going to wear the all baby blues, maybe. Give me the Chargers all baby blues.
Absolutely. I did want to ask you real quick about Lions going to the Colts. Lions, obviously, who beat the Jaguars 52-6 last week. I would have felt pretty good with the Jaguars getting like 43 points Sunday morning. But Detroit, a 7.5-point favorite. I would like the Lions here, but how do you see this?
Me too, but I hate that half a point.
Yeah.
That half point's just laughing at me, telling me to take it, and then you lose by the half a point. Maybe take a shot to over, because right now I think the Lions just scored again on the Jaguars as me and you are talking.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There goes Amon-Ra St. Brown for another touchdown with nobody even close to him. Anything we obviously asked you about 6 NFL games, so there may not be anything else, but anything that we didn't get to NFL-wise that you think is good value for the listeners?
I'm just excited for next week because you guys all get to eat turkey and drink and all that. But some of us, if you guys are watching football, that means I am working. But there's some great games next week on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, college football on Friday and Saturday. So I'm excited for next week because there's a whole bunch of great stuff on the tube.
Yes, we'll miss not talking with you. We'll certainly look forward to doing it in a couple weeks once we get beyond it. But, Raphael, thank you so much for your time. We always really appreciate it and hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too. Have a great week and a safe holiday.
All right. Thanks so much. Raphael Esparza does such a great job, sports betting analyst for MyBookie. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we're going to talk a little Gators, Ole Miss. That is right. Can DJ Lagway do it again? You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
There's a lot more to it than a tight spiral and an accurate pass.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Teddy Thompson is the Quarterback Whisperer. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on The Drill.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. Now I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. Beaver's annual Black Friday silent sale. Every car on the lot will be discounted so low, we can't even show the prices on TV. Doors open at 6 a.m. Friday. First come, first served. And once they're gone, it's over. Plus, anyone who buys between 6 and 9 a.m. will get a big screen TV and $1,000 cash. Want more? We're giving away free oil changes between 6 and 9 a.m. The Black Friday silent sale only at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. You don't want to miss this.
Picking here with a message from Zero Res. You got to just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course, football. They're very grateful for you all, the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, fill it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Pre-Game Friday.
Built by Dream Finders Homes.
On 1010XL.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you a member of the Ran Out of Room Club? Maybe it's a boat, RV, or cars. Maybe it's office space. A luxury storage unit at the Shed is your solution. Opening soon in Atlanta Beach. AC and plumbing available and spots filling fast. Don't join the Ran Out of Time Club. Go to theshedjacks.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. What a week it's been already. Looks like you guys smashed that Joe Mixon same-game parlay on Monday Night Betting with MyBookie. Still the best sign-up deposit bonus in the industry, available to Florida bettors. So what are you waiting for? Use promo code 1010XL. They will double deposit bonus up to $1,000 when you sign up with them. There's some fantastic action. We've got the Chiefs, a big favorite, going to Carolina. Give the points. The Panthers, they're not going to keep up with the Chiefs. Take the Chiefs, give the points. I also like Eagles and Rams. I think that goes over. Two really good offenses there. Again, MyBookie still has that double deposit bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. So don't forget to sign up now. Use promo code 1010XL and make yourself a winner with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL, that double deposit bonus with MyBookie.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Former Jaguars linebacker Tom McManus joined the Jaguars Today Show like he does every Friday to discuss what he wants to see out of the Jaguars when they come off their bye week. With 6 games remaining, McManus believes there's still time for the Jaguars to show some true fight and not just go out soft.
I know what I want to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to fight. I want them to go, all take the field if they're healthy enough and go win 6 in a row. I don't care. You know, look, draft picks, whatever. To me, it's never been about the talent, Tone, the past. Since Doug's been here, it hasn't been the talent. It's been the attitude. The attitude needs readjusting. The attitude needs to be different.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
And you better believe Big Chief keeps Jacks rolling with 5 locations in town. The latest one's at Orange Park location. There's a location on the north side, 2 on the west side, Phillips Highway over here on the south side. They keep growing, too. We had a breakfast Lauren and I did with the Parmans not long ago, and I'm excited about how they're growing that business, and it's more reputable than ever, and it's always been reputable. It's a wonderful family business, and they do a great job. They took care of me about a month ago when I called Reed. I texted Reed for help on the weekend. He was at Disney with the family. I'm sure he appreciated my dumb ass calling him but they take care of you. They really do. It's a wonderful, wonderful family. Big Chief Tire, the place to get tires. I promise you, it is the place to get tires in Jacksonville. Good folks. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. They really do.
You guys had a clinic today, didn't you?
We had a great clinic today. Thank you for asking. Gorgeous day today. We had about 160 kids out there today. And I will tell you this, the college teams, the 4 college teams in town, JU and UNF, Edward Waters and FSCJ, are such superstars with these kids. You know, these college kids take the time with these kids. Remember, our kids haven't ever played. Our kids don't know if they're right-handed or left-handed. And, gosh, Hays, they're fantastic. These young guys are young guys and girls, the Edward Waters softball team comes out too, are so patient with our kids, and I appreciate that. By the way, speaking of that, real quick baseball thought. J.P. Small Ballpark is do you know where J.P. Small is? It's on 8th Street and Myrtle Street. It's in the inner city. It was old Durkee Field. It's where the Jacksonville Tars, who were farm team of the Braves, played before there was a park downtown. Before there was Wolfson Park, and now the baseball grounds. There was a park called Durkee Park in old Durkeeville. Now it's called J.P. Small. It is gorgeous. They put an artificial turf field down there now. Ron Salem, the city council president at the time, really kind of was the point guy on that thing, and he was really passionate about it. And it's got a museum of the history of Jacksonville baseball. A lot of Jacksonville players went on to play in the Negro Leagues. It's just fantastic. It talks a lot about the history of African Americans in baseball in Jacksonville. Hank Aaron came through here. I'm just telling you, it's spectacular. I mean, spectacular little museum and a spectacular. It's a grandstand. It looks like a stadium. I mean, it looks like Wolfson Park or the baseball grounds. It's a beautiful, and they've renovated the field. And Edward Waters plays their home games there, and Stanton High School does. And if you get a chance to see that ballpark now with that artificial turf field, it's absolutely gorgeous. One of the most gorgeous things in Jacksonville. The museum is fantastic. We're going to start taking our kids through there. to see the history of baseball in that community. So so thank you for
That's
that.
awesome.
It's a really fun place, and we've been having all our clinics at the Bregan Baseball Complex at Fort Family, which is where most of our stuff is done. But we're starting to split them up. We're going to some at JP Small and some over here. So it's an exciting thing. So I'm very excited about it. Very, very fun. Tomorrow at noon in the Swamp, Florida and Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is going to win. We'll do our picks later on. That game's on those. I will pick Ole Miss. I'm guessing most of us will. But I do have this sneaky feeling that if Florida plays a clean game, they will beat Ole Miss. I don't think Florida can make any mistakes and win the game. I don't think Florida's got to have not only an even turnover ratio, they've got to have a plus turnover ratio. They've got to play a clean game, and they need a couple of cheap ones. They need a steal of possession. They need a cheap score, a pick six,
punt return.
Ole Miss fumbles the punt inside their 10. Florida scores quickly. Florida's going to need a cheap one or two. I mean, Ole Miss is really good and focused, but my gut tells me. Now I'll say this, and they'll lose 45-7. But my gut tells me that's a game tomorrow.
Rafael Esparza picked Florida.
Outright, or
he says he thinks Florida's going to win the game.
Going to win the game outright. Yeah. I'm not there, but I really think there's a lot of things that line up well for them. It is a home game. The home crowd's better at night, and then it's better at 3:30, but it's still a home crowd, and it's now an energized home crowd. I've talked to people there's some special tailgates this week. It's going to be an energized home crowd. Because now they think their team's worth cheering for.
Yeah.
And by the way, this guy Lagway's pretty good. He's not there yet, but he's pretty good. And the defense is Billy Napier has those guys playing like their hair's on fire. Now, by the way, so does Lane Kiffin and his team. So it's not one team's asleep at the wheel and the other team's playing hard. But I really would be surprised if that thing's not close as it gets deep. I really would.
Well, and you bring up a good point about the noon kick, because I was thinking about this. Because normally on a scale of 1 to 10, the Swamp at noon I'd say is a 5.5. The Swamp at 3:30 I'd say is a strong 9, and obviously at night it's a 10. But to me, there's not a big gap between a 3:30 and a 7:30 start, but there is a gigantic chasm between those two in the noon kick. But this is why this noon kick might be a little different, because normally if Florida is playing the noon kick, they're not very good, and there's not a lot of excitement for Florida as a team. Well, that's not the case. I think Gator fans are heavily invested in this team now.
I agree with that.
And the other part of it, normally the noon kick, so like if Florida is really good, then the 9th-ranked team isn't on the other sideline, because that would be a primetime game. So normally if Florida's really good, the reason it's a noon kick is because you're playing a team that you're probably a 2-touchdown favorite or better than. So it's not a great game. I don't know that we've ever seen this before, where you've got a top 10 team coming in, but you also have the Florida fans really excited about where their club is. So it might be the best noon environment that the Swamp's ever seen.
Well, I agree with everything you said. The emotion of it. People are invested in it. One other thing that gets overrated, you'll laugh, but it's a thing. One of the reasons people don't show up at early noon games, it's 112 degrees. Almost every Florida home game is hot. The high tomorrow in Gainesville, 59.
Really?
It's never getting to 60 tomorrow, according to weather.com.
Wow.
So it's comfortable. It's going to be a very comfortable, not a cloud in the sky, weather in the high 50s. So it'll be. I do think that we talk about
that's a great point. Yeah,
it affects Jaguar fans. It affects Florida fans. That place is hot. Everyone talks about how hot the stadium is here. Florida feels hot. Right. Hot. And so it's a better morning to get out and about. But I just get this feeling that he's found something. I think Ole Miss is good. Ole Miss isn't Alabama. Ole Miss isn't 2019 LSU. This isn't the 2001 Canes. It's a good team. It's not this generational team. Now, they're good. Jackson Dart's really good. Mm-hmm. Kiffin's done a fantastic job with him. So 2 or 3 keys for me in this game. Number 1, Florida has to play a clean game. Number 2, Florida's got to stay on the field offensively. What they cannot do, Hayes, is if they play the LSU game, they'll lose. If they have 43 plays but hit a couple deep ones, they'll lose because they won that game because they out-physicaled LSU. They're not out-physicaling this team. So they've got to stay on the field some. Florida's got to have some 12 and 13 play drives. That does a lot. Number one, your defense rests. Number two, you create doubt. The one thing that could work against this Ole Miss team, and you've been saying this all along, they've not been there. They no matter how confident they look, they've not been there. They've not been in a game like this. Now they played great against Georgia, but everybody was aiming. That was a home game, and home game. No sport does home and road affect the game as much as college football. None of them. Not the NFL. Not any level of basketball. Not baseball. Home and away is way bigger in college football. I saw this since 2020. It's a great stat. Florida has played the exact same. They've played 30 of each. You realize that? Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
They've played 30 of each since 2020. They are 8-22 away from the Swamp, either neutral site or on the road. They are 22-8 at the Swamp. Now you would expect that, but the number's still jarring. Exactly 30 games both places.
Well, all the away games are conference games.
Yeah, that's right. Or
and
the
you
neutral
get the
site.
cupcakes at home.
Yeah, that's right. But it's also bowl games. It's also the Georgia game.
Yeah.
You're right about that, though. Part of that too is Florida nowadays doesn't get as many cupcakes as it once did. But you're right. You're never going to go play Charleston Southern on the road. So it's a very good point.
Or even like UCF.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very good.
You're not a peon school like Miami who actually does go to USF every once in a while.
Yeah, Florida went there a couple years ago. Remember that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but your point's right though. Your larger point is right. You get the easier non-conference games are at home. But the point is there's something there tomorrow. There's something there tomorrow. Those are the keys, and you need Ole Miss to be off a little bit. I will say that if Ole Miss plays a clean game, it doesn't matter a whole lot what Florida does.
Well, the other thing too, I would say is how good is this Ole Miss offensive line? We know about their defensive line. It's fantastic. We know about Jackson Dart and his weapons. They're fantastic. We know about the play caller, Lane Kiffin. Fantastic. But I don't know that Ole Miss has a great offensive line. And Florida is coming off a game where they just sacked LSU 7 times when LSU had only given up like 6 all year. So this Florida defensive front is really starting to find their groove. And if Ole Miss, if their offensive line, if they're bothered by the crowd, so you're not getting as sharp a get off as you would if you were playing in Oxford, if that's an issue, I am kind of wondering if Ole Miss will be able to block Florida, and and if I don't think Florida will be able to block Ole Miss either. So it could just be 2 defensive fronts, winning the day. But if that's the case, that would tell you it's probably a close game if Florida's defensive line is able to take control over Ole Miss's offensive line, which I think could really happen. I mean, for all of Ole Miss's talent, I don't know that they have a lot of talent along their offensive line.
Yeah, I agree with that. They got a great defensive line. They got an okay offensive line. And again, they did lose to Kentucky. They did lose in overtime to what now looks like, I won't say a pedestrian LSU team, but far from a great LSU team. Those games did happen. Again, I know you can't always do comparative scores, but those games happened, And so they have not played a great schedule. They beat an awfully good Georgia team and handled them and routed them, and no question about it. But what's their next best win?
South Carolina.
Yeah, and South Carolina's got a good team, but that's their next best win. That's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a B- win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so we'll see. It's going to be
again. Obviously, we understand Florida's lost 5 games,
right?
So, but I will say this Florida team looks a lot different than the Florida team that we saw in September.
Yeah, and I think Ole Miss, if everybody plays the same game, meaning Ole Miss plays their B game and Florida plays their B. They both play their C. They both play their A. Ole Miss will win by 10 points. Ole Miss wins 31-21 if that's the way the game's played. But they're not enough better that if Florida plays really clean and Ole Miss clunks around a little bit, I just think it's going to be a heck of a game. I can't wait to watch it. I think it'll be a heck of a game. Let's get back to some NFL talk. We'll take a break. When we come back, Pete Prisco jumps in on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studio.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on
1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold & Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold & Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Attention sports fans. Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
the 1010XL Restaurant of the Day.
Moss Fire Grill in Riverside. Happy hour 3 to 7 with drafts, margaritas, and handcrafted bites starting at only $5. Moss Fire Grill.
See you on the rooftop.
Mia O'Brien
is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
When it comes to selling your home, it can be stressful. Take the stress out with my friends, Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. How's this for a guarantee? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers, and if you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home. Take Kim in Palm Coast. I needed to move closer to family ASAP, but I had to sell my Palm Coast home first. I tried and failed with another agent. So my family said, you got to call Chad and Sandy. Well, sure enough, as promised, Chad and Sandy did it. They sold my home in 3 days, above asking price. Call the local Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric. We provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom. You'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
The
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Pour down in the rinse shade.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
I'm Max Finke with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Week 2 of the high school football state championship playoffs resume tonight with a loaded slate of great local games. Starting off with the Oak Leaf Knights as they head to Nice High School to take on the undefeated Panthers, who have been flat-out dominant all season long, currently sitting on top of a 10-0 record. Nice is led by senior running back KJ Perry, averaging 82 yards per game with 16 touchdowns on the season. That game kicks off at 7. The 9-1 Bulldogs will host Walton High School to town in their second-round matchup. The Bulldogs have rattled off 9 straight wins, led by 4-star wide receiver Naheem Burrows, who averages 106 yards per game and has 12 touchdowns on the season. Kickoff will be at 7:30 on 1010 a.m. On 92.5 FM, 8-3 Bishop Kenny heads west to take on Godby High School at 7 o'clock. It's 58 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
All right, we thank our friends from Showtime. Head over there today. You've got a great opportunity. What a great store that is. Big, spacious store, the biggest one you've ever seen. I don't care who it is you root for. I don't care who it is. They've got your stuff at Showtime. It's at Phillips at the corner of Shad. Big place, all kind of collectibles, cards, you name it. They can authenticate your stuff as well. So head to Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. You'll be awfully glad you did. The best collector's place in town. Pete Prisco joins us from CBSSports.com. Pete, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? How are you?
I know you enjoyed that Snowfest last night. It's one of your favorite games, right?
Oh, God. It ruins football. It's awful. I mean, it becomes a survival test. It's not football. It's gross. Everybody loves it. I don't understand why people love it so much. Great, it's snowing. I mean, is that football? It's not football.
Great, it's snowing. Should Mike Tomlin have taken the penalty to make it 3rd and 7, or should he have declined it and made it 4th and 2 at the end of the game? What would you have done?
I would have made it 4th and 2. Yeah. I would have made him make a decision. I don't think they would have kicked the field goal, but you make him make the decision. And he gave an extra down. So, yeah, what would you have done?
Same thing. I would have made it 4th and 2. And if they do kick the field goal, you got a minute and a half, to come back, and you only need a field goal to win. So
what about the penalty, by the way? I mean, was the penalty called right?
No, it was grounding.
Yeah. Here's what they explained, and here's what the official Terry McCauley explained, which puzzled me. What he said was, because it hit the player, illegal touching trumped the grounding. Now, it's a dumb rule, but that's what.
Then why wouldn't every quarterback just throw it into the butt of their tackle?
Correct, 100%. But that is what he said. For whether he was
I don't think that's accurate, though.
Okay.
But here's the other part of it is they could. It's an interpretation. If he's trying to throw it to a player who's outside and he gets hit, then they can interpret that as saying it's not grounding. But the way I saw that play, that was grounding.
Yeah, I thought
and
so
if
too.
It's grounding. That will loss it down, and he doesn't have to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, so then it's 4th and 9 or whatever it was. So no, I think you're exactly right. So anyway, interesting game in the snow. Pete, let me ask you: were you surprised that there was an activity that the Jaguars at Shad Khan didn't make a decision this week? Doesn't mean he won't make one at the end of the year, but were you surprised that this week went as quietly as it did?
No, because that's not who he is. The more you think about it, that's not what he does. That's not who he is. He had to make the one decision on Urban Meyer, obviously for obvious reasons. But I don't think so. And here's the other thing. You look at a lot of those situations. What does it accomplish? I mean, seriously. Okay, the Saints fired their guy, Dennis Allen, got Darren Rizzi, won 2 games. But, is that what Jacksonville is going to do? Are they going to make Heath Farwell the special teams coach, the interim coach, and go win a couple games? So I don't know if it accomplishes anything. What it might do is send the message to the fans that, look, this is going to be changing and we're going to do it right now. That's the only thing I think it would do from a football standpoint. I don't think it does much of anything. So I probably would have sent the message if it was me, and not with the coaching staff or the front office, probably both. But as far as a football standpoint, I don't think it does anything for the team.
Pete, what do you think the chances are that Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke return next season?
Both of them?
Yeah.
Take them one at a time. What do you think?
Okay, well, I'll take them as a package first, 0. As one or the other, I'd probably say, 25%. But I can't imagine both of them coming back together. I just can't. And if they do, that would be a shock to me, and it would be a major mistake. And whether it's the coach, the general manager, or whoever, I can't imagine both of them coming back. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think?
I think they're both gone.
Yeah, it's hard
not. Too. That's what I would think.
Then here's what I'll tell you: the narrative is that they're both gone, and I would think that I would be shocked if Trent Baalke returns. And this isn't me taking shots. I'm the play-by-play voice. I'm not going to take shots at anybody. That's not my job. But just because he's been here for a lot of these iterations, Pete, of the Jaguars, I'd be surprised if he's here for another one. That's just me guessing. And again, I'm not. As a play-by-play voice, I'm not going to say what I think should or shouldn't happen. I would be less surprised if Doug Peterson was back, because I do think the reality is this is a guy that did win a Super Bowl. This is a guy that won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and he beat Belichick and Brady. This is a guy that just 2 years ago had them in the Elite Eight, if you will. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Shad Khan, who's been a patient owner, I wouldn't be surprised if he said, you know what, I'm going to rebuild the culture a little bit. I'm going to rebuild around him a little bit, but I'm not going to run off the coach that just 2 years ago had us deep into the playoffs. Now, I don't know that. I'm telling you that's what I think. So that's what I would be surprised by. I'd be a little bit surprised if Trent was back. I would not be surprised. I'd be probably surprised with both, but I wouldn't be as surprised if Doug Peterson came.
By the way, Trent's time has come and gone. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had so many chances.
That's my point.
He's the guy that's been there through it all, and he somehow keeps standing. And enough's enough. I mean, his time has come for him to go. Yeah. And whether they keep. Here's the problem with keeping Doug. You bring a GM in who's going to oversee everything. He's not going to want. He's going to want his own guy. And I think that's the situation. I think that's going to be the problem.
What I will tell you is this. I agree with you. I don't think anything happens for 6 weeks. I think Shad, my guess is he is spending a lot of time on it right now. I think at this point he's had the team enough years now that, by God, he's calling in every consultant he knows, everybody he trusts. And my guess is he'll have a plan pretty quickly right after it's over, whether it's do nothing, do all of it, do some of it. I would guess this is one. I'll be surprised if anything happens before Black Monday, but I would guess that probably happens.
And let me put something out there too. The Bill Belichick thing, okay? That makes, and I know Tony Khan has an affinity for him and knows him and loves him and respects him and thinks everything. And Bill Belichick's arguably the greatest coach who ever coached in this league. So I can't go against that. But he's 72 years old. He's coming back because he wants to break Don Shula's record. I don't think he would be coming back with the whole big picture of building Jacksonville back to what it needs to be. And so I don't – and by the way, Bill Belichick has always been the guy buying the groceries. And Bill Belichick bought the groceries in New England, and the groceries were rotten. And that's why New England stinks right now. Bill Belichick is a great coach. Bill Belichick, the GM, got Bill Belichick, the coach, fired. It makes no sense to me to bring him.
I would be, and I have no idea, by the way, I would find myself surprised if it was Belichick, because Shad has dipped into the past twice. He dipped in the past with Tom Coughlin as executive vice president. I'm a big Tom Coughlin fan. But he did that, and it went well for a while, but then at the end it didn't. And he dipped into the past with Urban Meyer, albeit he had success in the college realm, Pete, not the pro realm. But Schott has dipped into the past twice. So I would be surprised if he – does that make sense to you? I'd be surprised if he dipped into the past again.
Yeah, he needs to go get a young, bright offensive mind, period. And that guy is Ben Johnson. He needs to go get Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I will say this. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, because I think Ben Johnson, what Ben Johnson would do with Trevor Lawrence would be amazing. And that's the whole basis of what happens with that franchise going forward, is you have a quarterback who's making the $250 million in the course of his contract. And he is the guy you have to build it around and make sure it works. So go get the bright offensive mind who made Jared Goff into a big-time quarterback, a guy who was questioned when they traded for him. They thought he might be a stopgap, and Ben Johnson has turned him around. So go get Ben Johnson and build it around Trevor Lawrence.
All right, final thought about these Jaguars. Final thought about and we'll see what they wind up doing at the end. Because I got an answer to this, and I've thought about this a lot. In your opinion, and I probably asked you this before, but it's a good time at the break is the best time to ask it. What really went wrong? A team that we all thought, I don't know anybody that didn't think this team was at worst a 500 team. I don't, and most of us thought way better than that. I said 11-6. I won't hide from it. It's what I thought. What, in your opinion, and I know there's not one thing when you're supposed to win 9 or 10 games and you win 2, but Pete, what do you think went wrong the most here with this Jaguars team?
I think we overestimated, and I'm as guilty as anybody, we overestimated the talent level. And I think we overestimated the talent level of the two defensive lines, particularly down the middle. You know, you look at the talent level around these teams that play well, their lines are good. You saw one, too, last week, the Lions. You know, the Lions mauled Jacksonville. And they made Kevin Zeitler look like Zach Martin in his prime, and he was mauling dudes. Jacksonville never mauls anybody. And on the other side, they get mauled. Up the middle, straight up the middle on defense. They've been weak all year, right up the middle. The tackles have been weak, the linebackers have been weak, and the safeties have been off. You go to the other side. The interior of the offensive line has been a problem. And then they've had the guys bouncing around. They had Little in there and Robinson out, so you had problems there. It's physical. It's being a physical, nasty, violent team. They're not that. Then you couple it with the injuries, the quarterback injuries, the wide receiver injuries, and guys going down. And I think you add it all up, and I think it's a combination of all of them. And so, quite frankly, I think it's been a big time flop, and there's no other way to describe it, which is why they have to change the feeling, the culture, the mentality, everything.
Hays, I think Pete hit it. I was thinking about this today. I was talking to people. I was doing some other stuff today, shows and whatnot. I think the lines of scrimmage. Yeah, the safeties collapsed early, and they needed Savage back there at safety all along. You can pick them. Losing Christian Kirk hurt. Trevor's missed some throws here or there, but I think Trevor's fine. I think the skill's fine. Hays, I think they've lost. If you don't win the line of scrimmage very often, we were talking about the Steelers. Steelers are 8-3 and should be 9-2. Well, the reality is the Steelers aren't very good at a lot of spots, but they win the line of scrimmage every week. And they didn't win it last night, Hays, and that's why they lost the game. Do you agree with what Pete said? And I do agree that the lines of scrimmage are really why this team is not the only reason, but the predominant reason they're 2-9.
Well, yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's you have to look at what the Chargers have done. The Chargers added Joe Alt. They let all their receivers go, and everybody was like, "What are they doing? They're going to be terrible." And Justin Herbert's going to be lost, and they're never going to score a point. And you look up, the Chargers are 7-3. Because they have invested in the foundation of their trenches with their first-round pick, and they let their skill guys go because they were going to build it from the inside out. And so far, they're having great success with it. And so I think the Jaguars need to borrow from that page.
You know what's funny, guys? We talk about the Steelers, and Frank, you talk about the Steelers, and you go deeper inside the numbers. The Steelers went into last night averaging 4 yards per rush. That's middle of the road for the season. You look at their sack numbers. They're 2.4 per game going into last night. Middle of the road. Yet the perception is the Steelers will wear you out. They will knock you back and run the ball, and they will attack you with their pass rush. They're not nearly what their perception is, and that's the difference in Jacksonville. The perception is soft. That's a soft football team. The Lions, used to be considered a soft football team. They're not a soft football team. You mentioned the Chargers. Herbert's throwing for over 300 yards a game, but they're not a soft team because they added those big physical guys. There's only so many big people on the planet who can play the game, and you better get them and get as many of them as you can. And if you do it the right way, you're going to have success provided you have the quarterback.
Final.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Pete, what do you think the final record will be here in Jacksonville?
Same question. I was going to say, where do you think they're headed? Where do you think they're headed, Pete?
They might win a couple more games. I mean, that's it.
Do you think 4-13?
Yeah. And you know what? They should hope they don't win any so they get the number one pick. And if you get the number one pick, by the way, I've seen all these people putting Travis Hunter here. Give me a break. No way.
Never will happen.
No, you trade back. You get as many picks as you can, and you start building those two lines.
Right.
Get them. Get big physical guys and turn that thing around. If you get big physical offensive linemen, big physical defensive linemen to go with those edge rushers, you're going to be successful no matter what.
Dane Brugler said exactly that. Dane Brugler had some mock or whatever out. Jags with the first pick, trade out of there, get somebody else, Travis Hunter, trade back to 2 or 3 or wherever he had him trading.
Yeah, we saw Kelvin Banks Jr., the Texas left tackle, mock the other day.
And a big lineman. I think you got to go get big linemen. It's going to be interesting to see. Jags have the week off. So I'm going to relax this week, Pete. We'll catch with you next week.
Bye week.
I love bye week. Love bye week.
I don't get any bye weeks. But you know what I get tomorrow, though, Frank? I get Arizona State BYU at 3:30.
How about that? How about
It's the most amazing story in college football. What he's done with that team.
Yeah. So my guess is you probably lose Kenny Dillingham in a year or two to real school. Is that the case? Is that what you're thinking, or no?
He's a Sun Devil. He can't be doing that to them. Come on, he's went there. You know what?
He's a good coach, by the way.
In my mind, they win against BYU tomorrow, and what usually has happened over the course of history is they'd lose to Arizona in the finale.
It's the way
that's just the way it is. It's just the way it'll happen.
It's the way the world goes.
But if they win the next two and then play Colorado or whoever in the championship game, and then they could get in the playoffs, it would be the most amazing story ever because they were supposed to be the worst team in the league.
I will watch and root for them because of you, Pete. I will do that because tomorrow, Pete. Here's what I can tell you. I'm parking my car tonight. We're going to dinner with some friends. I'm parking my car about 9:30 or 10. I'm not getting in that bad boy again until Monday. I can promise you. So I'll be there watching games. So, Pete, enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Guys. Enjoy your bye week. See you.
All right. Pete Prisco checking in. Some passionate thoughts. And I think we all kind of agree the Jags haven't won the trenches. I think that probably, I was thinking about that earlier. That probably is as much of it as anything. Let's take a break. Let's do some picks. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Stretch game day as far as you can with an extra quarter of Teal Talk. Join Hacker Leon and Coach Campo for the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Brought to you by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Gators are a 11.5-point underdog to Ole Miss in the Swamp. Second-ranked Ohio State, a 10.5-point home favorite over undefeated Indiana. In the NFL, the Packers are a 3-point favorite over the visiting 49ers. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Pick it here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bow 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Frank Frangie here. This November, Nimnik Buick GMC is honoring the brave men and women who have served our country. Nimnik is proud to announce their partnership with K9s for Warriors. With every vehicle purchase, you're helping provide highly trained service dogs for military veterans and supporting the K9s for Warriors mission. And this month, Nimnik Buick GMC is offering a $500 military appreciation discount on select new Buick and GMC models. So who makes your purchase go further for veterans? Nobody but Nimnik. Shop 24/7 at NimnikBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Pre-Game Friday, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Hacker here. A couple weeks back, I received an invite. Not just any invite. It was to be the guest speaker at Awaken 180's virtual town hall. Every team member was there. The owner, Paige, my coach, Kate, and what seemed like 100 people from Awaken 180. My surprise? They invited me to stay for the full town hall. They talked client successes, company goals, future plans, you name it. There was nothing to hide. They all had one common goal of how they can help people better. It was amazing to hear, and it was amazing to see how happy and team-oriented everyone was. I mean, I already knew my coach had that mindset, but I thought I had the best one. Nope, they're all the best ones. That's the beauty of being company-led, not a franchise who often only looks at the bottom line. I suppose that's why Awaken 180 is now celebrating 10 years and has helped over 23,000 clients like me, Mike Dempsey, and Matt Hayes. See it firsthand while you're losing weight with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
All right, here we go.
Former Jaguars QB David Garrard joins Jaguars Today to talk Jags.
All right, guys.
Mondays on 1010XL.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com.
What is that?
Yo, ET here. You need the perfect spot to unwind with friends, family, or coworkers? Dart Bar is just right off King Street. Darts, pool, and foosball. Dart Bar has all the games to keep the fun rolling. With 20 taps, 200-plus cans, and plenty of non-alcoholic options. Dart Bar has something for everyone. Plus, we host community events and leagues and can accommodate everything from company happy hours to milestone birthdays. Dart Bar is your go-to place for fun, drinks, and great times, no matter the occasion.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Frangie Show Picks Contest is presented by Sunshine Turf. For the highest quality artificial grass installations at affordable prices, it's Sunshine Turf.
And we sure appreciate Caleb and our friends at Sunshine Turf. I talked to Caleb the other day. He's going to do maybe even some more work for us up at our ballpark. SunshineTurf.info, or call Caleb at 904-383-0243. I want you to know that number now, 904-383-0243. I mean, for putting greens in your yard or playgrounds, man, they do a great job. Nobody does a better job of that turf, and he's the best in the business. Everyone's doing the artificial turf thing, man. Give Caleb a call. SunshineTurf.com. Get that in. Get that putting green in your backyard. SunshineTurf.info. Or 904-383-0243. Here's the way it went last week in the picks contest. Hays Carlyon, he hails from the Bowl School. He was 5-3, but not one but two game picker-uppers. and a money ball, 8 points. I was 5-3, 1 game picker-upper, and a money ball, 7 points. JJ LaSelva, the longtime homecoming king back at Ocala Forest. He and little Susie
still has the scepter.
He and little Susie, when they came in that Cadillac, the convertible, that was fantastic. JJ 4-4 last week. JJ, not as bad as you thought. 4-4. Also had a game picker-upper.
Shout out to Josh LaSelva, my brother, who actually did win.
Okay, there's that. 4-4 and 6 total points. So the way it looks now, Hays Carlyon commanding lead, 48-30, 63 total points. JJ 45-33, 56 total points. I'm 43-35, 52. So it's a commanding lead for Hays over JJ by 7 points. JJ a good 4 points ahead of me, and Hays has walloped me by 11. Game picker-uppers, Hays has 8, JJ has 5, I have 3. Money balls, Hays is 7-2. JJ and I are both 4-3. With that said, Hays Carlyon, you go first on all the games.
So let me ask you, with the Jags being off, do we have a money ball this week?
I didn't put one in, but I can.
What do you guys think?
Pick the bye week to beat the Jags.
Well said. Let's go with that one because I do Florida, but I don't think we're going to allow to pick fourth. So here we go. You go first in every pick. Indiana. They're coming to the banks of the Olentangy? I think it's the Olentangy in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Who do you like?
Well, Jack Nicklaus is one of my all-time favorite golfers. He's a big Buckeye. So in honor of the Golden Bear, give me Ohio State to ruin Indiana's Cinderella season.
JJ LaSelva.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to beat them bad enough to where they take them out of the tournament. So I'm going with the Buckeyes big.
I think Ohio State's going to win, but I'm going to take Indiana because why not, right? I'm down 11, okay, in case you want to know that. So I'm kind of out of it. Why not? What do you got to lose? Hays Carlyon, UCF travels to Morgantown, West Virginia. Oh, that's a big one. The whole country's talking about this one. Look, they were lousy games, okay? Go easy on me. West Virginia.
UCF at West Virginia.
Yeah. It was like a 2-point line.
I will take the Mountaineers at home.
West Virginia.
It really seems like Malzahn's kind of struggling at UCF.
He really is. But I'll take UCF, JJ LaSelva.
Yeah, I'll take UCF, and they're dominant. I like Ja'Cory Brown, quarterback.
So West Virginia is your game picker-upper, and of course they'll win because you'll have your 38th game picker-upper of the year. At night, on the plains of Auburn, for cheer for us today, I'll take Alabama Auburn. Texas A&M Auburn, who do you like, Hayes?
You know, I talked to Raphael about this earlier in the show because the line doesn't make sense to me. Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite at Auburn, but they've had a much better year. So that tells me there must be something in the air. So give me Auburn, because if the line looks funny, then to me that's telling me something. I'll take Auburn in the upset at home.
JJ LaSelva.
Yeah, if Auburn doesn't turn it over this year, they're, I guess, all right. But Texas A&M just has so much to play for. I'm going to go with the Aggies.
The Aggies. I am going to come with Hayes on this. Something tells me Auburn at home. And in the swamp on a Saturday afternoon in north central Florida. 60 degrees, 59 is the high, not a cloud in the sky. Are you kidding me? This is Archie Manning versus Steve Spurrier, bro. Hays Carlyon, who do you like?
Well, as you know, Frank, I like to go with the hot hand. And the Gators got me a game picker-upper last week.
I dare you.
Jackson Dart will see ghosts with the Gator pressure. DJ Lagway accounts for 4 touchdowns. And the Gators topple Ole Miss 31-30, ruining the Rebels' dream.
I am right with you, except I'm picking the other team. I'll take Ole Miss. JJ.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rebels. I just think their defensive line is going to be too much. I'm going to go with Ole Miss.
By the way, I would really compliment you on the pick if you didn't have a 78-point lead. And so it's kind of house money. So I'm not giving you that much credit, but well done nonetheless. Let's get some NFL music in here, JJ, if we can, please. Let's change it to Vikings at the Bears, Soldier Field on a Sunday afternoon. Hays Carlyon.
Boy, I don't love this. I will take the Vikings with a very tepid level of confidence.
Vikings it is. JJ LaSalva.
Yeah, I think the Bears are playing better, but the Vikings defense is going to, against a rookie quarterback, I think they're going to confuse the hell out of him. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I will take the Bears because I'm way behind. Hays Carlyon, the 49ers are at the Packers.
I'm going to go with Green Bay here. San Francisco is really beat up, and I think the Packers are playing pretty well. So I will take Green Bay in a game that really puts the 49ers in a tough spot.
Yeah, I put this game on there before I knew Brock Purdy wasn't playing, so I'll take the Packers too. JJ.
Yeah, Bosa's out as well. I'll go with the Packers.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that when I did that, so Packers it is. Rams at home against the Eagles, Hays Carlyon.
I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I really like the way Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Stafford are playing the Rams, and with McVay offensively, they'll give the Eagles a lot of trouble. But I just think the Eagles have enough balance, even with Devonta Smith out this week, that they'll be able to figure it out. So give me Philly on the road.
Philly on the road. How about JJ LaSalva?
I am going to go with the better coach and the better quarterback. I like the Rams.
I'm coming with you. I'll take the Rams too. So game picker-upper opportunity for Hays Carlyon. And finally, on a Monday night, we don't always do Monday nights, but I just love the game. The Harbaugh Bowl, not the Super Bowl Harbaugh Bowl. We've had one of those. Ravens at the Chargers, Hays Carlyon.
I'm going to go with the Ravens here. I think losing the previous game, I can't see them losing 2 in a row. Their defense is atrocious, but I think Lamar, Derrick Henry are able to harness enough offense to win a really entertaining, high-scoring game. Give me the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm going the other way. I'll take Jim Harbaugh at home, JJ LaSalva.
Yeah, this one's hard. Like Hayes said, they dropped to 7-5 if they lost. This is a toss-up for me. I'm going to go with the Chargers, just being at home all the way over on the West Coast.
All right, so here's how it looks. College picks. Indiana, Ohio State. I'll take Indiana. Game picker-upper. I've got no chance, but what the hell. West Virginia, Hays Carlyon at home. Picked West Virginia. JJ and I both like UCF on the road, so game picker-upper opportunity for Hayes. He'll probably hit it. Hays Carlyon from the Moss Point Grill. The maitre d', the cook, the dishwasher.
What is a maitre d'?
I have no idea.
You kind of just take people to their seats.
Oh, like a hostess?
Kind of, yeah, except you wear like a tuxedo.
Yeah, Hayes was so,
I mean, you would be, you'd be in a very high-level place.
To be a maitre d'.
Hayes was so skilled there. He was both the host and hostess when he worked at Mazda. He likes Florida. I love that. I love that pick. JJ and I both think Ole Miss on the road. I hope I missed that pick. And Auburn and A&M. Hayes and I both think Auburn somehow wins at home. There's something up. I kind of agree with you. Read on that. JJ likes A&M on the road. In the National Football League, I take the Bears at home. You guys both want the Vikings on the road. The Packers, we all think the Packers will beat the 49ers at home. Both JJ and I think the Rams at home beat the Eagles. Hayes likes Philly. And both JJ and I like the Chargers. Hayes likes the Ravens. So you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 4 game picker-upper opportunities.
This might be the end.
He's going to put us out of our
contest,
misery.
Or it's going to be really close after this week.
He could put us out of our misery. We'll see what winds up happening. Those are our picks. One more time, I do want to thank my friend Caleb Smith and all the folks from Sunshine Turf. Caleb does such a good job. He really does. He's a good guy. He's great at the job. And I will tell you, these artificial turf yards, they're really all the rage now. He does. I mean, everyone's talking about them. They really are. Whether it's a putting green in your yard, whether it's for your playground, just to do it in your backyard. Never have to mow it again ever. It'll always look good. It'll never fade. You will love it, and it's just like grass now. It's better than it's ever been. Really give it a try. SunshineTurf.info or call Caleb Smith at Sunshine Turf 904-383-0243. Back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Futures for the NBA championship. The Boston Celtics are the betting favorite to repeat with the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Celtics at plus 235. The Oklahoma City Thunder at plus 450. The New York Knicks are the second best betting favorite out of the Eastern Conference. They are plus 800. The Dallas Mavericks plus 1100. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who suffered their first loss of the season Tuesday night against Boston, plus 1200 to win the NBA title. The Denver Nuggets at plus 1500, along with the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are also plus 1500. 1,500. Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets is plus 220 to win the MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plus 300. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
The holidays are just around the corner, and so is your entire family.
Babe, the toilet's growling at me again.
Uh-oh, the kitchen sink just turned into Old Faithful. Ah, there's no hot water!
Don't let plumbing chaos steal your holiday cheer. Call Duck Duck Rooter today to fix those issues before Aunt Linda blames you for ruining Christmas dinner. Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing pros. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
The Florida Gators welcomed back starting quarterback DJ Lagway after he missed the previous 2 games with a hamstring injury. Lagway's role played a massive impact in the Gators' 27-16 win over LSU on Saturday night. As the Gators are reaching the home stretch of their season with 2 games left, they will be releasing more information on this week's injury report coming up on Wednesday night. I'm Max Fink here with your Gator Injury Report update presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations. And through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest. So everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro-Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
Gold City Brewery, established in 2008, is the oldest craft brewery in Jacksonville and proud to celebrate 16 years of brewing greatness in Duval. 2 locations serving delicious beers, seltzers, ciders, all produced in-house. Check out Bold City Downtown on Bay Street or hit the production house and restaurant on Roselle Street in Riverside. Bold City Brewery, with something for everyone, brewing great beers and serving fantastic food to all of Duval. Log on and be bold. BoldCityBrewery.com.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start to the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
On this week's Jaguars Happy Hour, one of the topics covered was the injury to Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence, who has been sidelined the last 2 games, is in a very gray area with the severity of his injury. Doug Peterson came out and said Trevor is doing everything to try and come back after the bye against Houston, but it is not certain. Here's Tony Baselli's opinion on Trevor's injury.
What's the risk of injuring it further? What does that mean? Anytime you step on the field, there's risk of injury. But now he has an acute injury. And
It's a pattern injury because it's the same one he had last year.
And if it's something that needs surgery,
do it now.
Aren't we better off doing that right now so that he has a healthy offseason so that we can be ready for next year?
I'm Max Fink here with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where have we been in the show today? We've had a good show today, a fun show. We've covered a lot of topics. We talked a little bit about the Jaguars, not a lot because it's an off week. The surprise, Pete Prisco joined us, talk NFL, but it was also all Jaguar talk. Was Pete surprised nothing happened? But he was not. And in retrospect, I'm not either, now that I think about it. And we'll see what happens as the season moves along. We certainly talked about that today on the program. Rafael Esparza, as he always does, from my book, he joined Hays to talk about some of the best bets of the week. He does an awfully good job talking about that. So we touched on that, and we certainly talked an awful lot of college football, Florida Ole Miss. What kind of a chance do the Gators have in that game? And certainly that'll be an important one. We touched on it. We teased it, never really got to it. It's an interesting free agent period. I'm going to go ahead with Juan Soto and guess, and I'm guessing the Mets. JJ, if he goes to the Mets and they re-sign Alonso, who's still out there, are they the best team in the National League then?
No.
Still not?
The Dodgers.
Still the Dodgers?
Yeah, especially with Ohtani coming back as a pitcher. So it's like they're restocking after everyone was like, hey, the one thing about the Dodgers is their starting pitching isn't great. Well, now you're adding like a Cy Young potential guy to your rotation that was really already on your roster. But the Mets in the East, I think they would probably take over odds-wise favorite over the Phillies in the that division will be stacked.
Yeah, what a division. I mean, if the Mets get Soto and re-sign Alonso and they're in that division with the Phillies and the Braves, what a division. My God.
And the Braves aren't going to get Acuna or Strider back until probably May or June.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Even Acuna, even the knee, really?
Yeah, I would expect Acuna back before Strider.
I mean, Strider's got the, I mean.
He didn't end up having Tommy John. It was really weird. No.
Oh.
But it was something very similar to that. I'm not an expert on that. All I know is it didn't end up being TJ, but it's still really bad. But I heard they're going after Willie Adames for a shortstop, which would be good. He's not great. But, like, when your rival in your division's getting Juan Soto and you're getting Willie Adames, it's hard to compete with that.
Aren't the Dodgers in the Adames thing, too, I think?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that. But I love Adames. I think Adames is terrific. I thought when the Rays collapsed, when the Rays went from being a legitimate World Series contender, hell, they played in the World Series, to being an ordinary team, They always ship off their good players. That's the one they should have kept. I thought Willie Adames is a Rays player. Was a real. I thought they made a mistake, and he was really good with the Brewers.
And he's a great defensive player.
Very good, and he hits a lot of home runs. He's not an average.
Yeah,
hitter.
you'll look up and he's batting like 235.
Right. But with 28 dongs.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's kind of that guy. Hayes, we didn't have headlines today. Were you surprised the Giants released Daniel Jones?
I think there wasn't really any other choice. They had him running scout team as a safety the other day. I mean, come on. What kind of look is Daniel Jones going to give you as a safety? So
I didn't know. Is that what they
yeah, it got really bad. It was a tough decision. They should have just released him the second that they had decided that they were not going to play him anymore to eliminate the risk of injury and having to pay him a bunch of money next year if he couldn't pass a physical this offseason. So they made the right move today in releasing him. And now it really is interesting to see where does he end up, because if Brock Purdy is really out for a while, then San Francisco, maybe. I don't know what Shanahan thinks of Daniel Jones. Dallas this season is kind of over, but there's a lot of people that believe it would be hilarious if the Cowboys signed him, because they play the Giants this coming week on Thanksgiving. So, I mean, I think there's a decent amount of talent there. So if I was a team in a situation like maybe Cleveland, as well as Jameis did last night in the win, do you maybe look at it as, let's sign Daniel Jones and maybe, I don't know if they can possibly eat the Deshaun Watson deal, but maybe Deshaun Watson's on the roster next year because you just don't have any choice, but he's like your third guy, and you have Winston and Daniel Jones kind of battle it out at a very low salary. So I don't know, but I do think it's good that Daniel Jones is been able to move on, and I think he's going to have some interest. I think he'll be viewed by some personnel executives that a lot of it was the environment around him with the Giants and not so much Daniel Jones. Not to suggest he's going to be outstanding, but that he could be a very serviceable player and an outstanding backup in the right situation.
It'll be interesting to see. We'll keep an eye on it. College basketball tonight. By the way, the Seminoles, I'll tell you, Florida State's better than they've been in the last few years, Hayes. They're 4-1. The only loss was to Florida. Now, look, they haven't played a lot of good teams yet. They're playing a pretty good Temple team right now. The Temple's 3-1. They're up 32-30 nearing the half in one of those preseason or early season.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, it is.
Where you look up your basketball team's like already lost, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Miami lost yesterday.
Yeah, they lost today.
They lost Oklahoma State today. Yeah, so they lost back to back. But Florida,
they're not good.
Florida, they were good for a while, but not now. I guess Florida State plays Temple, but Florida State's 4-1. They play Temple 2 days from now. They play UMass. So it'll be interesting. And again, they don't have a great schedule. They play at LSU coming up in about a week or so, but we'll keep an eye on that because the Noles are better. Florida plays Southern Illinois, who actually is not bad.
Yeah, it's like a 15-point line, so it's not ridiculous.
This isn't a walkover tonight, so it'll be an intriguing game. But Florida's got a chance. Florida really's got a chance. I don't know if I don't think they're going to beat North Carolina. They play them in Charlotte. So North Carolina's one of the best teams in the country. But they got a pretty good chance to be 11-1 when that SEC thing starts. In fact, I think I got a hunch that's probably what I think they're going to beat Wake Forest and Virginia.
I would agree. So that's where I think they'll be as well. Let me ask you this before we get out of here: if Florida gets it done tomorrow, what does it do for the program?
Well, if Florida beats Ole Miss, then I think they have turned the corner. Turning the corner is hard. People love to say it, but what you saw that night in Knoxville, when we were in London and watching it, and even though they didn't win the game, your jaw dropped because they hadn't looked like that in a long time. And they took it to the next week and beat Kentucky handily. 2 weeks later, they hung around with a good Georgia team even without their quarterback. They had the outlier at Texas. Then they came home and out-physicaled LSU. If they add this win to that, if they wind up going 7-5 against this schedule, this brutal schedule, and with that awful start, I think they're off and running. I think it begins. Remember now, if they win this game and probably beat FSU next week, then they go into signing day red hot. One of the teams that's one of the most talked about teams in the country, other than the elite. If you take the, and I'm going to put Miami in the elite. I'm going to put Ohio State and Indiana both. But if you take away those 6 or 7 teams that everybody is pretty convinced will be in the playoffs, they'll be as talked about as anybody in the country. They'll knock Ole Miss out. Ole Miss will be out then. So all the Kiffin talk, the coach that everybody wanted, Florida just knocked them out, and they're going to wind up being 7-5, and Ole Miss is going to wind up being 9-3 with a way easier schedule. So it would mean everything. It would solidify Billy Napier's position maybe for the long haul. That doesn't mean he's getting an extension, but I think all the noise in the system quiets. See, they can lose the game, and people aren't going to be killing Billy unless they get crushed, other than the ones who kill him all the time anyway. But win that game, and I think all of it. Same question is the great question. The same one you asked me. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's a rocket ship if they're able to beat Ole Miss tomorrow because of what you're talking about. I mean, they're going to have some multiple 5-stars, a bunch of 2026.
Oh, the list of recruits at the game is a mess.
Yeah. And signing day is December 4th. So, I mean, this is really the last weekend you can official visit.
Right.
So, if they're able to pull it out over Ole Miss, and I do think, Napier beating Kiffin, the guy that, look, I was right there. I wanted, when they walked off the field losing to Texas A&M, compounded with the Miami embarrassment. I mean, I was ready for Lane Kiffin. Absolutely.
We all were. We all were. That was a consensus that everybody had moved on from Billy. And I was guilty as anyone. And I'm not a fire the coach guy. I'm the last guy on that boat usually. And I usually jump on that boat as it's leaving the dock.
Yeah.
And I was there too.
There's buzz that if this weekend goes well for Florida, and normally that would mean a win. So let's assume with the hypothetical I threw out that Florida wins the game. They might make a push with this class into the top 10, which is crazy because when I think the day that Strickland gave the announcement that Napier would be retained, Florida was outside the top 40.
Is that right? Where are they now?
27.
Okay.
But they're you give them
they're trending up.
Yeah, you give them 2 more players and they jump to 13.
And I will
So if they get 3 or 4 of these guys, and it looks like there's a good chance they might, you might see them finish 8th.
And
or
they've
9th.
taken 3 guys from Florida State.
Yeah, and there's a running back that's
man.
committed to Florida State that's visiting Florida this weekend. It's depending on the site you look at, some have them as a 4-star, some have them as a 3.
Billy's been destroying Mike on
Solomon Thomas, the Reigns lineman, who's a 5-star.
Yeah, and I will tell you, if they win this weekend, and by the way, I don't think they're going to beat Ole Miss. I don't, but I also didn't think they're going to beat LSU. But if they win this game, all of that falls into place. And then look out for what they will be next year. Then, the recruit. You're talking right now about how you wrap up the year with recruiting, but then the thought of what they will. Let's assume win, and beat SMU 31-24 in a bowl game. Where are they to start the season?
14th,
ranked somewhere. Even if it's in the 20s, ranked somewhere, right? If the season ends that way, ranked.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and so all of that, and I do look. I think they're going to beat FSU because the Noles have struggled so badly. But if they win tomorrow, I'm convinced they're going to beat FSU.
Yeah, and
I'm convinced now.
Yeah, and I know FSU's really bad.
I don't care what happens.
But I'm kind of like you. You when it's your team.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because look, the polar opposite could happen. They could get blown out tomorrow.
Yeah,
lose in Tallahassee.
Yeah, they could
not go to a bowl game. And the conversation could be, what are they doing?
Yeah, why is he still the coach?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Big game tomorrow in Gainesville. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Speaking of college football, don't go in there. Matt and JJ got another hour of all that college football talk coming up right now. We're out of here. For JJ and Hays, I'm Frank Frangie. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.